And action.
We had the script, Paramount liked it, and I said, look, can I send this to some actors just to see if there's any interest? And they were great. They said, yeah, of course. And so Dee Dee Gardner, Jeremy Kleiner, and I sat down with our producers, Kevin Messick, Robin Woolley, and we looked through the lists, and then they started calling back. They're interested. I was like, what? Then it was like, yes, yes, yes.
The default rates are already up from 1% to 4%.
I think the reason so many actors wanted to be a part of it was because it's a chance to be a part of something that really does affect everyone.
And then Brad Pitt signs on, and then it really gets nuts. And you're like, this is the craziest cast ever.
I don't know how these actors do this. They just pick up on the character. There are times I had chills going down my spine. They even looked like the people.
Collateralized debt obligation. It's when we take a bunch of unsold Bs, double Bs, and triple Bs, and we put them in a pile.
If you look at Ryan Gosling's take on Jared Bennett, he is a character of great intensity. He speaks his mind. He sometimes goes on tangents.
First of all, how was your travel? How are you?
Well,
uneventful?
Uneventful.
Okay, I've been here for 6 hours. I've already been to the gym, I had 2 poached eggs, and I played blackjack with Harry Dean Stanton.
Thank you for your diary.
Jared Bennett is not lying about who he is. He's not lying about why he's doing what he's doing. He was there to get rich. He says it at the outset of the movie.
And yeah, I got a bonus check for it. Sue me.
Jared Bennett's one of the characters in the movie that's kind of funny. He breaks fourth walls and is a little bit the narrator of the movie, sort of guides us through the whole journey. And so right from the beginning when I was writing the role, I was like, this has to be Ryan Gosling.
That's right.
My character is a bit of an anomaly in the movie because he has a foot in the reality of the movie and he also is the narrator. So this allows him the kind of power to move through space and time and to be the tour guide for the audience, but then also to sort of be present in the immediate drama.
Jacked! I'm jacked to the tits!
Ryan Gosling's performance is one of the most delightful, fascinating things in this film.
I never hung out with these idiots after work, ever. I had fashion friends.
Specifically in my character's case, he really is the least like the real person of any of them in the film because he is the narrator. So a lot of license had to be taken with that role, and he really did become very different than the real person.
He was the perfect guy, and we just had a blast. We would do takes of scenes, and we would do them 3 completely different ways. I wouldn't even throw him the idea. He would just have like 3 or 4 funny lines.
When that happens.
What is that?
That's the American housing market getting fucked.
You get a feeling from him, there's a creative ball of energy there that's just exciting to be around.
Mike Burry of San Jose, a guy who gets his hair cut at Supercuts and doesn't wear shoes, knows more than Alan Greenspan and Hank Paulson.
Yeah, Dr. Mike Burry, yes, he does.
Dr. Michael Burry, played by Christian Bale, is emotionally very much anchoring this film.
He just looks at the facts. If it meant he had to read 11,000 pages of mortgage-backed securities, then that's what he would do. He never gets cowed by the notion of, well, 11,000. Like, there's not a number after which he thinks, oh, I can no longer do the work.
Christian has a work ethic like I've never seen. He's a little bit like Michael Burry in the sense that Michael Burry's all about the work, and that's the way Christian is. It was the first day you could see him just dial in, and then boom, he was the guy for the rest of the movie.
This is a person that spent quite a long time with Michael Burry, talking to him, getting certain mannerisms down.
I think Christian understands Mike Burry. I think he understands him sort of in his DNA.
He's a good guy, and I wanted to try and get that across. And there's an awful lot of details and mannerisms and all that kind of stuff. That's good, that's good. You use it as sort of a mask to get your way through the character, but none of it means crap unless you get the essence of the guy. I don't know how to be sarcastic. I don't know how to be funny. I don't know how to work people. I just know how to read numbers.
You're playing real people, how much do you do the real people? And that was really the first discussion with Christian Bale about how much he was gonna do this real guy. And our decision was he was gonna use the real guy as a sounding board, get the specificity, which you really can't fake, and then fill it out with other choices. And that ended up becoming kind of the code for the movie.
The drumming with the double kick drums, I loved the drumming so much. And starting off, I've never drummed before in my life. I'm totally addicted to it now. 95. It's 30 days late, 60 days late.
There's a scene in the film where you experience a process of thought that got him to realize this bombshell idea.
FICO scores.
And what Christian was doing to dramatize thought was one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed.
So get this, Cynthia wants me to quit and open a B&B in Vermont.
I'd love to see Mark Baum run a B&B. Here's your steel-cut oatmeal, asshole.
If Michael Burry is kind of the oracle, the lone oracle who saw this before anyone else, I would say Front Point are much more the street-level guys. And the center of Front Point is Mark Baum, who's Steve Carell. And he's the fiery guy who doesn't trust the system.
Mark Baum, in some ways, is the hero of the film. He's incredibly bright and idiosyncratic and a very particular, loquacious, gregarious character.
Hey, hey, hey! No, my cab. That's my cab. That's my cab.
He's sort of an unlikely hero. He's a guy who has a very strong moral compass, and at the same time, he is immersed in this world that isn't necessarily ruled by moral compasses.
Those same banks got greedy, they lost track of the market, and I can profit off of their stupidity? Fuck! Yeah, I want them to be right.
He really humanizes all of what happens at this time. And through his character, you really see the ups and the downs and the weight of what all this means.
Steve brought a natural empathy for that journey. He and McKay had this wonderful relationship, which goes back 20 years.
I've known Steve Carell for a long time. We actually did Second City together way back in Chicago in like 1993, which is how we cast him as Rick Tamlin in Anchorman. And we all knew Steve was a good actor, but when I saw Foxcatcher, I was like, holy crap. He may have been the biggest surprise of the whole movie to me in that I knew he was gonna be good. I didn't know he would be unbelievably good.
The bank calls you up. They give you the bonds they want to sell. They give you clients. They give you money to run your business. They give you fat fees for doing so. But you represent the investors? Is that right?
Yeah. Where Steve gets to in his performance, your heart is breaking for this person. He's having a dark night of the soul where he's questioning everything.
I met with a few people who represent this character and talk to them and pick their brain. And it's interesting because you don't want to try to do an impersonation of someone, but you do kind of want to glean an attitude and a way of being that these people have. And especially the people whose memory of this is still very fresh. This is not a distant history for these people. This was both a tragic and a shining moment for them.
He's harder on himself than anyone I've ever seen. He's incredibly rigorous. He did an enormous amounts of work, constantly with Adam dial the nuance of what he was achieving in each beat.
There's this rigor to the way he works where he really is constantly pushing himself take after take. He would do takes where I was like, Steve, that was great. And he'd go, no, there's more there. And I'd be like, all right. And sure enough, he would find something.
No one's acting responsible. Fuck responsibility. Fuck it. We're gonna take a knife, we're gonna shove it in, we're gonna stick it into the hilt, we're gonna make those assholes at the big banks.
You boys want anything else?
We're talking! Excuse us.
And cut. No.
The Steve Carell, Jeremy Strong, Hamish Linklater, Rafe Spall group, they are so cohesive as a group and they all bring such specific tones and realities to it that I think you just really enjoy being with them.
Gentlemen, I spoke with Mark Baum. He says to fuck off.
Jeremy did all the research. He knew the financial world. He knew all the terminology. He knew Vinny. He spent time with Vinny. He spent time with Front Point. He completely became Vinny.
How are you fucking us?
There's a nice way to say that, Vinny.
I'm serious. We'll buy your swaps, but only if you say how you're fucking us.
Vinny described himself to me as a gambler, as a professional gambler. They were a little more kind of Robin Hood's Band of Merry Men, and everyone's looking for a good bet, a great bet. But these guys, as outsiders, I think it gave them a particular vantage point to see what people in the weeds couldn't really see.
In my mind, they're the good guys of the story. Yes, they profited off other people's misery, but they felt appropriately guilty about it.
You know, once we sell, we'll be just like the rest of them. You know that.
No, we're not. We're not the bad guys here. We didn't defraud the American people and prey on their dreams of owning a home. All right, they did.
Now we get to kick them in the teeth.
And their shorting of the housing market was anarchic and naughty, and not necessarily for simply personal gain.
Rafe's just an actor, man. He came in for the audition, you know, he's English, he's an accent, carried himself totally different. I'm like, why is this guy in here? And he goes, all right, should we read it? And then instantly became a completely different person. So I knew with Rafe, I had maximum flexibility that character could adapt and change to whatever we needed. One of the great scenes for Rafe is when all the guys are just chatting before Mark Baum comes in the room.
I have an extremely pronounced
I'm riveted
epididymous.
I'm riveted by this. Do you have any pictures?
Almost as large as
another testicle.
And Rafe really drove that improv. He just had all these kind of unique, strange stories to tell like these guys would talk about, and he was always just game. Rafe also has the most expressionistic face, too. Some of the great Rafe moments are just him reacting to things. His face just instantly registered.
I hear the food has gotten really good in Vegas. They have a Nobu now. You fucking stop it.
I played Porter Collins, the handsome one. Rafe Spall and I do our traveling together and bicker like a sweet old married couple.
I heard the Cuban food is amazing in Miami.
Please don't be chipper in the face of me being miserable. It really makes me hate you.
Hamish was able to do a very hard thing, which is straddle the line between this kind of patrician Ivy League vibe, yet still being able to joke around and like give Danny Moses, Rafe Spall a hard time to bust balls.
You take longer with a wrong number than anybody else.
Adam's cast people who work in a certain way, so it's just us building our relationship so that we talk like we've known each other for a while.
What's the ABX at?
What's ABX?
It tracks subprime mortgage bond value. Go back to sleep.
And actually, Jeremy Strong, I've known for about a decade already. Steve, I've seen him in the office. And Rafe, I just hit it off with really well. So it's more rapport.
No one on the planet is betting against AA. The banks will think we're either high or having a stroke, and they'll take every dime we have to offer. Kind of brilliant.
Early on, I had said, there is a role for Brad, and they were like, he just did a Michael Lewis movie, he's not gonna do it. I go, that's fine. And then later, they kind of sat down in my office, Dee and Jeremy, and were like, well, we have some news. And I thought they were gonna say, Paramount's not making it, or Brad hated it. And they were like, Brad wants to be in it. And I was like, why are you saying this in a serious tone of voice? Shouldn't we jump up and down?
Ben Rickard's funny. His logic leads him to the conclusion that a lot of bad or apocalyptic outcomes are upon us. But the way Brad plays it, it's just totally natural. There's nothing paranoid about him. He's not unstable. He just sees the world the way it is, and this leads him to these conclusions.
Ben Rickard.
Ben, why do you do that, man? I mean, you're a retired trader, okay? No one is listening to your calls.
The NSA has $52 billion budget and the ability to monitor
Tens of million calls a second. You think they're not using it?
I promise I will refrain from saying Ben Rickard and Dirty Bomb in the same sentence.
Brad really ran with that. He just had a lot of fun getting into that and did a lot of research. So Brad has some great improvised scenes where he's talking about seeds. Don't use the Monsanto seeds, you have to have the pure seeds.
Seeds are going to be the new currency. And not those Franken seeds from Monsanto. I'm talking about good, healthy, organic seeds. Make yourself a garden. Learn to live off the land.
I think he liked the idea that it's a guy who clearly had tremendous success in the industry and who had become disillusioned with the level of greed in our culture and with this moral ambiguity.
Ben's not just some crazy prepper. Everything he's doing is backed up by pretty decent data. The combination of it all seems pretty crazy, and that was one of the really fun things for Pitt in playing this character.
He has this dry humor about him that he's bringing to this extremely neurotic character. That's very subtle and just a lot of fun.
There's great comic relief, but he also says something of great importance.
If we're right, people lose homes, people lose jobs, people lose retirement savings, people lose pensions.
Slowly, you just see them throughout the movie becoming aware that this is where it could end up.
Will you listen to me? This is like the end of capitalism. This is like the Dark Ages all over again.
John Magaro, just another one of these guys, like New York actor, really fluid, comfortable with improv, just game every single day.
You say what scene is this? This is the one where you call your mother.
Well, this is the mother scene. Bates, I need my phone.
We had a great actor for Jamie. We cast Finn Whitrock, and he was perfect. He just got that earnestness, and I get the sense from Finn he can kind of do anything.
Jamie and Charlie's story, it's a very simple story. It's a story of two young guys trying to gain a seat at the table.
B of A and Bear didn't even return our calls, and even fucking Wachovia blew us off, man.
But they imbue it with such kind of depth, and they play off each other in really funny ways, and watching them improvise with each other, it's just so fantastic.
The biggest challenge on this is getting to a point where you are comfortable enough and understand enough what's happening to be able to riff on it. And that took a lot of research to get to there, but then once we were there, and John and I were kind of on the same page about it, then it got pretty easy.
He and John just loved that I would let them improvise, and we got a bunch of great beats off of just letting them go loose.
The film like Soup to Nuts has wonderful performances. It's so much fun to be around these actors, and I think all of the actors, Ryan, Steven, and Christian, they were dialing into those people's experiences.
Any chance we had, we wanted to humanize this environment. We wanted to remind people that this is flesh and blood. And everyone had this connection with the real people and the real story, and everyone like stepped towards it rather than stepping away from it. And if we've done this movie right, it should be enjoyable as well as sort of eye-opening.